not come to play fair. If you know that this is what INEC is, and of course the people on the other side, your opponents, are going to do what the previous and current FCT minister said, if Mr. President wanted to win the Osun election, by all means, by all costs, it would have happened. Now, that saying has already triggered lots of reactions across the country, saying that, it means people are willing and ready to deploy state resources. You've been mentioning it before.
What they should do. So because the more we hear from them in this denigrating manner, the more I think some section of the polity we don't even expect to get prepared for the worst. And I am personally a pessimist. I don't lie about it. I expect the worst and hope for the best. Yes. Yes.
Okay, that's good. You'll be speaking at the NBA conference or the event this week. I believe it's today.
Yes.
And do you still have hope in the NBA that something can happen? The president, the process that brought her in, the new president, is being challenged by her co-competitors. Some of them are saying, some of them are not saying. But you are here. What do you hope, without diving into your speech, do you still have hope in the NBA?
I'm here to talk to lawyers.
Okay.
And I have plenty of them who defend me in courts in very difficult circumstances. So anytime you see us in this kind of gatherings, we are recruiting lawyers. If you see me with doctors, we are recruiting doctors. So as to join the struggle for the emancipation of the country. I was around as a student leader when the NBA was a vibrant organization, almost a revolutionary organization that Kabashiro late now. So we plan to return the NBA back to that space where I have over 50 lawyers who defend me for free. I believe that there must have been a spirit of conviction.
For free?
Yes, pro bono they call it. One of my oldest lawyers is Femi Falana. He's been defending me since 1992 for free. So if 50 lawyers can do that, they could have charged me through, charged me a lot of money that I can't even afford. I believe there are more lawyers who will be in Port Harcourt who want to defend the country for free as well and give it whatever it takes. So those are the ones I came to see. Not necessarily the ones who are already destined for wherever they have sold their soul to. But let me also state, and this is respectfully to the new leadership of the NBA, that I was actually told that it was the new president of the NBA that requested I be invited.
Okay.
The previous NBA leadership in the past have always made sure that they don't involve people like us because they say we are too radical. When I was in detention under Buhari in 2019, the NBA came out, they were clapping for Buhari at the NBA conference. In 2022, Olumide Akpata made sure I was not invited because he had a presidential candidate that he favored. But this NBA president knew, I couldn't confirm it. Upon being elected, did request that presidential candidates should all be given equal opportunity to come and speak before lawyers. This is the last NBA annual general conference happening before the very crucial election that's coming up in 2027. And lawyers are very, very crucial to elections. I need to say no more.
Oh, yeah, they are.
Yes.
Okay, if you're just joining us,
Participating in elections should not appoint teams, since we love soccer here, playing. And one of the soccer teams appoints the referee. What do you expect? And the same soccer team appoints linesmen. And then the VAR belongs to the company of the soccer team. Out of the two soccer teams. The referee. So what do you think will come out of it? We would expect them to be fair, but it can't be. So we should have an independent process that appoints referees. It can be a constitutionally mandated process, which I think a new constitution can address, so that the president should have nothing to, not even a handshake should the president have with an anarchic chairman. It's just like we don't expect judges to be hanging out, you don't expect judges to be MCs at the home of litigants during their children's birthday. The moment we see it, we go back to court and say, my lord, I saw you eating chicken at my opponent's place last week. you should disqualify yourself, recuse yourself. Isn't that what we do? So why should we treat INEC differently when they are the most important referee of our democratic process here in the country? Yes.
I think maybe it's because we follow the American presidential system where the president appoints Supreme Court judges. They have nominate rather, Supreme Court judges, and then over time expect them to influence either the Republican ideologies or the Democratic. But sometimes we see some of the judges nominated by even Trump turned against him in certain areas.
So the difference between the Judicial Council has been nominating children and families of either retired or serving judges. I know of a former Supreme Court Justice, Kutigi, who has 2 kids who are both judges. Good if any judge that's appointed has subjected to a lot of scrutiny first before we take them. Not just like you wake up one morning, appoint some judges, suspend some because they're not doing your bidding, and then before you know it, you have a completely conformist judicial system that does only the bidding of those in power.
Okay, let me just shift gears now.
Yes.
Some people are saying they do not know who our president really is. There's no proof of his primary school certificate or where he attended primary school and secondary school. You cannot know who's there.
Well, my position is even more critical. Is that it's not that we don't know who the president of Nigeria is. It's that we know that he's so crooked, right? We don't even know where to start. Are you getting my point? We have established that the president cannot prove where he went to school, right? Primary, secondary. Somehow, we jump to the university where he attended university. But that's where you even get more curious. We know that he was in Chicago. And he claimed to be an activist. The same year he was an activist, he was also peddling drugs, trafficking drugs.
Allegedly.
Well, it's not allegedly, that's on record. There's a seizure of his assets based on there are affidavits sworn to by the officers who investigated. This is all public document. I was the first to publish it in 2008. I obtained that document from the U.S. District Court in Chicago and published in Sahara Reporters. So we know who he is. So don't let anybody say they don't know who he is. We know who he is. The U.S. government. I've always warned people never to trust the U.S. government coming to save you.
Right? Never trust the U.S. government to come and save us.
No. For them, Nigeria is a business space. Niger Delta is a big example. So people who are involved in child trafficking, but they are too important at this. They are too central to governance at this point. I don't want to touch them because they know the establishment will implode. So, and the same thing might be happening. I don't know what is in those. And you just heard about the Liberian former vice president,
the wife of
being arrested and being indicted for $371 million worth of cocaine trafficking. We've heard about Guinea.
Well, of Jonathan as president, that as a matter of fact, even your platform, Sahara Reporters, was one of those platforms used. Just recently, Mike Arnold raised he posted something on Facebook, I believe you must have seen it too, about you. Mike Arnold is in the US, I think he's an American, somewhere in Texas. How would you react to that? That accusation that you were part of
that is a mayor of a city in the US, but what does he really do apart from, traveling around and making money off of our own sorrow? What does Mike, the guy know about Mike Arnold know about me that he's calling Sahara Reporters Tinubu? Simply because he made a post, I now remember, he made a post trying to excuse the FBI from releasing Tinubu's records that, they are lobbyists and they are all over Nigeria now making money off of what, the problem they came to create here.
They came to create?
Yes. When they dropped the bomb, have you ever asked where they dropped the bomb? Nigeria is the only place where America dropped bomb in the last 2 or 3 years. They couldn't provide the evidence of where the bomb fell. And they said it's Sokoto. We're just guessing. Some fell inside the house in Kwara State. It was also insulting me at that time when I said that Donald Trump doesn't care about you. These guys are agents of the American government, but part of our problem why we listen to them is, this colonial mentality. We always see the white man as the more superior person than us. We can, a majority of us cannot say what they say about us in their own country because they look at us as inferior. They don't even talk to us. The media don't see us as serious people because we don't have serious leaders. If we have serious leaders, why would they mark the color of his skin?
I think he fell off. He and Reynolds were falling off too.
And so, yeah. But they were together before. What were they doing together?
Only God knows.
Yes.
We're going to open the phone lines now. 0902-333-9379. You also have 09. Let's take a listen. We'll be right back.
Good morning, my brother. So your guest in the studio, Omoyele Sowore, good morning. What I want to ask my guest, even though the demons that are ruling this country would not allow him to be, I want to ask him, if he happens to be the president of this country, what change is he going to make from this normal political ajakas, from what these political rascals normally do to the common man? What are the changes? What are the different things he wants to do that will be different from the normal things we are seeing the politicians doing to us?
Okay. So,
well, it's to look at my trajectory, look at my history, and look at me holistically. What have I lived my life doing the last 37 years? It's making sure that politicians don't run a plantation in Nigeria where everybody is a slave to a few. And I've done this confronting corruption. I've done it as a teacher, as a student. I've done it throwing myself on the lines, wherever it is necessary. So, and I've spoken earlier about what we'll do differently, but doing things differently is not as important as sustaining what is done differently, because part of our big problem is that somebody will come to River State and say, oh, I've done things differently in River State. I constructed roads, but they will forget to put drainage on it. And then after a few months, the road is submerged underwater. Somebody will come and say, oh, I wanted public railway in River State. They will build half of it, and take the money and go sponsor the worst election in Nigeria's history. Put Buhari in power. I'm talking about Rotimi Amechi now. So I'm doing things differently in sustainable ways. I often say this, and I don't say it to brag or be arrogant, that probably my biggest problem is that I'm ahead of my time.
probably.
Yes.
Let's take this call now. Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning, Mr. Toby.
Yeah, good morning.
Yeah, my name is Chimadi. I'm something for Mokuta. Since I know he has been this activity for since 1999. I don't know about the military regime. Maybe he has been there. I don't know any government that he has seen in Nigeria that is good. Because I knew that him and Tinubu, the president, they were in the same place.
There's a good government in Nigeria since I would imagine that he's not calling from under the rock. He lives in Nigeria, right? So what is the standard for governance? What are your expectations? Has the successive governments met this expectation? That's the question we should ask everybody. So the reason why he's probably calling passionately this one is because 1960 it has gotten progressively worse. That is the truth. Sowore is not fighting, and that is the oxymoron about some of this commentary. You say Sowore supported somebody and he fought the person. He supported this one, he's fighting this one. So why do you think I'm fighting all of them? It's because I have been consistently against bad governance. Don't call me a politician. That's what I mean.
Let's take this call. Hello, good morning.
Yeah, good morning.
Yes, please, what's the name where you're calling from?
My name is Barrister Stanford Igwe.
Okay, you have 30 seconds. Go ahead, please.
Yeah. I'm going to establish themselves in the US, UK, outside the country. There was a time you talked about Yesom Wike having a property worth hundreds of millions of dollars in the US. And I thought you were pushing forward that case, but it died down naturally. So what happened? Now, you work, yes.
Okay.
You as a journalist, as an investigative journalist, there are a whole lot of information available to you that we probably don't have. You refuse to push forward. Or is it possible that the government has also reached you
Okay.
and made you not to push forward some of these cases, particularly that of Yesom Wike and his family?
Okay.
And all that.
That time he was still a petty thief. You understand? And the EFCC declared him wanted. They wanted to arrest him. Somehow they figured out through Seriake Dixon, got to the Court of Appeal. Have to wait and wait. Sometimes they act when you don't even expect them to. We have done our part as petitioners to petition. We have exposed and petitioned. But the question I ask the people in Rivers, all the hypercity supermarkets you have here, what have you done about it? And now hypercity has also moved to Abuja. In fact, the river in River State has also moved to Abuja. Abuja is now flooded. Richard person in Port Harcourt, your own city, your own state. What have you done about it? All of us have it. But if I become president, then you have given me the authority to handle all of this together, not in piecemeal. So I can then locate, and just to address the issue of Jonathan, I fought Jonathan, and I'm sorry, the man who is calling, I am not Yoruba. I'm Ijo Apoy from Ondo State. I'm in Niger Delta, like you.
Oh, you're from, okay.
Yes. That's because all these fish that I don't know. I was combining fishing and going to school. So some of you just speak in Niger Delta just a Yoruba man. Yes, I'm a Yoruba speaking Ijo man.
Okay.
My mom speaks.
Yeah.
I'm not. We are beside the largest.
Okay.
But I'm Apoy. The people who are Ijos, they know who Ijo Apoy is. The beginning of Ijo land start from Ijo Apoy. That was a closer. He was a heartbeat away from me. My best friend was late Oronto Douglas. Oronto Douglas was the first person to fly me out of Nigeria before I relocated to the US. Nice guy, late now. When Jonathan became president, Oronto Douglas came to me in the US and said, move back to Nigeria. Now our brother is president. I said, I cannot survive in government for 2 days. Because I know what you people are about. But you don't expect me to say because Jonathan is a job, now that you know that I'm a job, they'll be doing what they are doing at that time, spending money like water. And I will cover it up. Now when a Yoruba man is there, I will not be fighting. I say, oh, when is the job brother? I was there, he didn't fight. So, but you can call me a
Okay.
but we have to go.
What recently you've been really critical of Alex Oti of Abia State. Lots of people are happy with his doings and the things he's done. Based on the fact that they suffered over 20 years under the PDP and nothing about.
So the Lagos Calabar Expressway, its governance. I went there to do a protest on behalf of Nnamdi Kanu, and I saw the standard. That's one of the biggest markets on the continent of Africa, and I expect him as a governor. You see, yes, I understand that people haven't seen development before get carried away by little development. But if you have seen local governments in places that we have lived and visited, he ended his banking career. He was writing about good government. I've stayed in his house once. He even said it, that I ate his food. It is true. But even in those days, my boundaries are clear. I've always told him that all the things they are writing about the former governors, when you become governor, we are going to hold you to the same standard. So we want to see great schools in Abia State. We want to see great roads that have drainage. We want to see great markets that can compete internationally. We want to see digital economies that are functioning. We don't want what I call functioning. It doesn't have to do with one expressway. The streets must be clean. They must be well together. The schools must be good.
How would you react to, because I think the governorship candidate under your party has raised the alarm about the 200 million permit required before you put up your presidential He's your friend.
That's what that's part of what I'm saying. That
So how would you
that's
react?
far beyond most of any other candidate. I'm not just bragging because I